Hello and welcome to Serial at Midnight, the official YouTube channel of serialatmidnight.com. My name is Heath, and I'm glad you're here because I've got a stack of stuff that I want to show you. This is all media stuff, acquisitions, things like that, stuff that I've picked up, some of it even from thrift stores, but there wasn't enough in the thrift store to justify a video. Maybe just like one or two new items, and then the same old stuff, right? Or in some cases, like I was at a thrift store today, and there were people like right up on me. And you cannot do a video when there's somebody up in your space. In one case, like I had my stack of things that I was buying directly in front of me, and someone like reached over and started going through my stack, and I gave the shade. It was just, what? I was like, oh, sorry. So it was crazy. There's no particular order to this, but I am going to try to go quickly for your time and for mine. I picked up Solo, the Star Wars Han Solo movie. We did a review about this the day I went to see it at the theater, but I do have this on Blu-ray. It is just a Blu-ray digital code. I am not 4K. I'm not in a hurry for 4K. People ask me sometimes, are you going 4K? I will eventually, I'm sure, but most of the movies that I want to watch are not in 4K. A lot of them are just making their way to Blu-ray for the first time. So 4K, this would have been nice probably to have in 4K, but I'm not ready for 4K yet. I do not have the setup for that. So I will say, revisiting this movie, I like it still. I don't know if I like it quite as much as I did the first time. I think it's half of a good movie. Not to say that half of it is a terrible movie. It just feels uneven. You can feel the tension and you can tell that there were troubled times behind the scenes. And I will say that most of the special features on here are just crap. I really miss special features that had meaning and substance and deserved to exist in the first place. There's a few cool things on here, but by and large, this is just a big old puff piece, probably made for sticking on the YouTube channel or something. But whatever, it's Star Wars, so I have to have it. I picked up, we're switching gears. I did pick up from Target the Commodores. This is their 20th Century Masters Greatest Hits, their It's not the Millennial Collection. It's the Millennium Collection. The Millennial Collection is a totally different thing, and it's not on CD. But this is the Commodores. Lionel Richie. This has Easy Like Sunday Morning on it. Brick House. Just to Be Close to You. 3 Times a Lady. I dig the Commodores, man. I'm so into the Commodores. And this was $3.99. It was on sale for $3.99. So I grabbed it. A couple of days ago, I had to run into Big Lots for something. It was actually for some trail mix. Full disclosure. God, why do you need to know that? Just lay off, man. Gah. It was for trail mix. And so I was like, well, I'll just pop over to the Blu-rays and see what's going on. And they had some new Blu-rays, some new additions to their budget Blu-ray section. So I picked up Holiday Inn for $3. This is a classic. I know we watch it. We don't. The royal we, no, that royal we would be me, right? Whatever. Society tends to watch this movie around Christmas, but I don't think that it's entirely a Christmas movie. I think it's marketed as a Christmas movie, but I think that there are other holidays in Holiday Inn. I could be wrong because I've never seen it, but for $3 this holiday season, I will be watching it. I also picked up a $3 copy of the Peter Jackson version of King Kong. Honestly, probably my least favorite version of King Kong. I think that if you want to know, my favorite version of King Kong is probably the 1976 one. That could change. My opinions constantly change. Constantly. But I thought that this was overlong, and I thought that it was just too much. That tends to be a problem that I have with Peter Jackson as I get older. Is I'm like, buddy, that is just too much. You need to edit yourself. You need to make that shorter. But having said all that, I did not own this movie, and I kind of feel like I should because it's King Kong. And if I do choose to revisit it so I can try to change my mind or update my opinion and make sure that I still know what I'm talking about, now I can do it. And for $3, come on. And then the last thing I picked up from Big Lots was a $3 Blu-ray of Joy with Jennifer Lawrence, and it's got Robert De Niro and Bradley Cooper from the people who brought you The Fighter, Silver Linings Playbook, and American Hustle. I do not know if this is going to be my cup of tea. I do like Jennifer Lawrence. I think she's very talented, but I do not like movies that take themselves too seriously or that ring drama from I'll just say that are overly dramatic. I tend to not respond. When you've had drama in your real life, you don't really need drama from the movies. You tend to look for other things from your movies. And I think I've had enough drama to last a lifetime. We'll talk one day. But we'll leave it there for right now. That was the Big Lots score. Also on sale this week, because of the new series of Doctor Who, I was able to pick up the 10th series, the complete 10th series. I saw none of this series. None of it. Full disclosure, during season 9, or series 9, I got so frustrated with what was happening on screen that I just stopped watching. I am very much an old school Doctor Who fan, and sometimes New Who kind of gets on my nerves when it's very loud and it's very brash. I've talked about this before. I think I talked about it in one of my Doctor Who videos, but sometimes New Who does this thing where they're like, look over here, look over here, look over here, trying to distract you from a lack of plot or like structure with special effects and like people being chased or whatever. There'll be a lot of action-y business, people hanging out of the TARDIS, like hanging by their hands from the TARDIS, while there's not a lot of story to support it. And you go back later and you try to figure it out, and you're like, wait, that actually didn't make sense. And I got so frustrated during season 9 that I bailed, and I didn't watch any of season 10, series 10, whatever. But I owe it to myself as a huge Doctor Who fan. If for nothing else, the collector mentality that's like, well, I gotta have all the Doctor Who. So it dropped to $21.99 for the complete 10th series, which I think is a really good deal. And I also picked up the Christmas special with the Regeneration. If you want my thoughts on the new Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, I think it's cool. I'm excited about it. Never seen it before. I think it's time for some stuff we've never seen before. But that's just me. We've talked about Code Red stuff recently on the channel. I did get a new Code Red Blu-ray, coincidentally from Dark Force Entertainment. This was a really great deal. This is essentially, it's called Knife for the Ladies, and it's essentially a Western horror film. So that is cool. It's got Jack Elam. You might recognize him from some spaghetti westerns and stuff. But this is something, there are not a lot of horror westerns. There are a few, but there's not a lot. And so this was definitely something that I wanted to pick up, especially at the price it was being offered at. And it's going to get watched this Halloween season. I'm going to add that to my October stuff. So I have some other bags here. I did a thrift store video a couple of weeks ago. I think it was in Thrift Store 10, and I had talked about I'd showed this book, but I didn't buy this book. I went back and I bought this book. Another full disclosure, why not be brutally honest? I do not really like Pete Townsend. Of the people of The Who, the members of The Who, he's the one that I probably like the least. The quiet guy, John Entwistle, I probably like more than Pete Townsend, especially given the revelations that have come out about this guy in the last 10 years or so. That being said, like all the guitar smashing, all that stuff, like no, I don't really like that. Roger Daltrey, on the other hand, seems like a class act and a scholar, and I like, if for no other reason, he was Fitz, right? His name was Fitz on the Highlander TV series, a recurring role as the immortal Fitz. And Roger Daltrey was amazing. But I felt like I liked The Who enough that I regretted not buying this for $1. I regretted not buying this book for $1. So I did. I picked it up. And while I was there, I was lucky enough they still had this copy. We talked about this in Thrift Store 10. The Seniors with Priscilla Barnes from Three's Company 2. And Dennis Quaid. And is there anybody else who's in this that we need to talk about? So it's still sealed. That doesn't have a thing. It's still sealed though. So I'll give it a shot. I'll check it out at some point. I may have to wait till after October. But and then I saw something at the thrift store while I was there that I had not seen before. This is going to have very limited appeal, so I'm just telling you up front. But it's a John Schneider movie called Collier and Company. He wrote it and directed it, and it very much is in the shadow of Dukes of Hazzard, as I think John Schneider's career is. I think you can boil him down to Smallville and Dukes of Hazzard. But Dukes of Hazzard seems to, like, even Smallville was occasionally in the shadow of Dukes of Hazzard. Like, the Tom Wopat did a guest starring role. I think he probably got Smallville because of Dukes of Hazzard. So it seems to be something that he cannot. He's on Dancing with the Stars right now, and I do not watch Dancing with the Stars, but I did see while flipping the channels the other night, he was dancing on I think it was a 1969 Dodge Charger. So that's just his lot. But this is a movie that he wrote and directed. I've never seen it. I don't know if it's particularly rare, but it's not the kind of thing that you run across all the time. Sometimes people comment, sometimes you guys will comment in the videos, you'll be like, you left, like, whatever, like Magic Mike, that's a bad example, but that's one that I do tend to see. Or, okay, you left Hocus Pocus, and you got Collier and Company. That's because Hocus Pocus is everywhere, and it's not going anywhere. And there are billions of copies of Hocus Pocus in the world. There's not a billion of this, and this is the kind of thing that if you're interested in, grab it while you can, because who knows what the story is going to be with that one. It's 2 discs. It's got like a ton of special features on here. It seems like this was really a passion project for John Schneider, so I will be checking that out because I like Dukes of Hazzard. I know maybe we're not supposed to admit that or talk about that, but I do like Dukes of Hazzard a lot. It was a seminal part of my childhood, growing up, like playing with the car and stuff. And we didn't know any, like, now I can look back and I can be like, well, you know, I can understand how certain aspects of this thing, the rebel flag, I can understand how that's divisive. But the show itself was never divisive. It was just a couple of guys, like, even in the first season of the Dukes of Hazzard, they were like running moonshine and stuff. By the second season, they're like solving problems for people and stuff. There was like no negativity, not an ugly bone in that show's body. So I do like Dukes of Hazzard, and I'm cool to check out Collier and Company. Another thrift store haul, different thrift store. I snagged The Essential Miles Davis. What an amazing, this was $1. It's a 2 CD set. Looks absolutely brand new. Both CDs look immaculate. What in the world, you guys? Like, who would do that? It's like hitting a puppy. Like, who would do that? Who would donate that? While I was there, I picked up, also for $1, a copy. I've been wanting to read this book for a long time, but I didn't want to pay for it. I wanted to get it cheap because I'm cheap. It's an essential rule of collecting. You gotta be cheap. The Devil in the White City. This is a fascinating story that I've been really excited about. Bringing Chicago circa 1893 to vivid life. Eric Larson's, not the Eric Larson from Spider-Man, Savage Dragon. Not that guy. It's the true tale of 2 men, the brilliant architect behind the legendary 1893 World's Fair, striving to secure America's place in the world, and the cunning serial killer who used the fair to lure his victims to their death. That sounds fantastic, right? Like, super creepy, true crime, like a serial killer, like a Jack the Ripper style killer set against the backdrop of the actual 1893 World's Fair. This is a thing that happened. Devil in the White City. Got it for $1. I also grabbed this, which is a biography of Gary Cooper, the actor from High Noon. There many movies, and here's full disclosure. Take a shot every time I say full disclosure, and then tell something to you about myself that will make you like me less. I'm not crazy about Gary Cooper. I like some of his movies, but I kind of feel like he's disengaged, and I'm not proud of that, and I don't like that. So I'm hoping that by reading this biography, I'll feel differently, and maybe something will break loose, and I'll be like, oh, I actually really like Gary Cooper. Because that's how it happens. I'm constantly trying to challenge myself, challenge my opinions. I don't like King Kong from Peter Jackson. I should probably watch Peter Jackson's King Kong again, because it's been a while. That's how that works. I'll be like, I really don't like this thing, but I should probably revisit it and make sure that I still feel that way. Because as we get older, things change. Every few years, like, there are things that I could not stand that I now kind of like Journey, the band Journey. Couldn't stand them. I thought they were the most watered down, radio friendly bullcrap in the world. But now, I like Journey. I have many Journey records. I actually don't think I have any vinyl Journey, but I do have a lot of CDs from Journey. So this is a biography of the singer Steve Perry, lead singer of Journey. Also, and I should have been gone. That guy. So you're so welcome. So this was, I feel like this is the kind of book that is not gonna be everywhere. This has a very self-published feel to it. Is there even a, it doesn't even have like a major label. It's the unauthorized biography. It had a $9 cover price, it looks like. Who is this printed by? This is Shifty, you guys. It's not Shifty, but it looks like it was self-published. This book is not approved or endorsed by Mr. Steve Perry, Journey, or their management label. Ooh, might be some dirt in there. Last bag of stuff here. This is just from today. And I think you guys are going to be happy with it. I'm going to save what I think is the coolest for last. Some of this stuff you will not, maybe you'll be interested in. I picked up Donna Summer's Greatest Hits. This is a 2 CD set. The Disco Queen. I dig disco, and this was $1 for 2 CDs. Love to Love You Baby. The Last Dance from the movie, the one with Jeff Goldblum. Oh my gosh, Thank God It's Friday. Yes, she plays a big part in that movie. Anyway, it was $1 for 2 CDs. I picked up James Taylor's, woo, you can't even see that. I picked up James Taylor's Greatest Hits. I like James Taylor. I think I'm good with the Greatest Hits. I have a few of his albums that I've picked up over the years, but I feel like the Greatest Hits really satisfies the urge. I don't really tend to want to go beyond that. This, I'm almost embarrassed to show you this. Almost. But I'm going to show you anyway. I picked up Tom Jones, the Millennium Collection, not the Millennial Collection, but the Millennium Collection 20th Century Masters of Tom Jones. Mostly because it has Thunderball. You know, he did the song from Thunderball, the James Bond movie. So it's got Thunderball on here. It's also got What's New Pussycat, which I feel like it's kind of like, it's like a freebie. I paid for Thunderball. I get What's New Pussycat. And I also get It's Not Unusual from the Carlton song from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I could, if I wanted to, put that on and just do. I don't know how to do that dance. Maybe if I listen to the song enough, I will know how to do it. And then this last thing I know very little about, but it's cool. Actually, there's 2 more things after this. But this is a CD. This is a Yellow Card album from before they got a major label record deal. This is from Lobster Records. It's got a cutout, so this might have been a comp or a remainder or something like that. Maybe even a like a radio station copy or something like that. But this is a independent release from Yellow Card, the pop punk, whatever you want to call it, the melodic pop. But they were like, I really like Yellow Card. I'm not up to date with them as a band. I don't really know. I had their first. I had Ocean Avenue. I think that was the name of the release. But I really liked it because it was like poppy punk music with the violin or the fiddle, and I had never heard that before. I guess it was like Dropkick Murphys or whatever. but or who is it that had it was Flogging Molly. That's who I'm thinking of. Anyway, I get too distracted. So this is before all of that. So I haven't listened to it yet. I mean, I've only been home from this thrift store for a matter of minutes, so I wanted to show that to you guys. It's very cool. If you've heard it, I'd love to know what you think about it. And then there were 2 movies at the thrift store, $1.50 a piece. So I picked up The Pink Panther with David Niven, Peter Sellers, Robert Wagner, Capuchin. Is that how we say that? I've never seen any of the Pink Panther movies, which is a crime against humanity, and I'm ashamed of it. But I'm sure these are all on Blu-ray, but this was $1.50, so that's like a Netflix rental for me. So not Netflix, a Redbox rental. So disc is still in great shape. As you can see, it's still got the it's not sealed, but it's still, somebody just didn't even bother to take off the security tags. And then this last thing is, I know for a fact it's out of print because I looked it up while I was in the thrift store, because I was like, this is the kind of thing that you do not see at places. I picked up Blood Fist 4 with his name, Don the Dragon Wilson. Just boop. Blood Fist 4, Die Trying. Again, never seen it. This is a Roger Corman produced action movie from 1992 with Don the Dragon Wilson. Out of print, There may be a Blu-ray. I don't know. I don't think there is, but there might be. But this is the kind of thing that when you see at a thrift store out in the wild, you freaking grab it. You grab it. So that is, check this guy out. Like, can you see this guy? Is he showing up? Yeah. That is some 1992 stuff right there. So that is the stuff that's accumulated that I needed to show you so I could get it cataloged and entered into the database and the system, get it all cleaned up and everything. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling while I showed my stuff off. So, was any of this, do you have opinions? Do you know any of this stuff? Particularly, like, I'm interested in, have you seen this movie? Have you heard the Yellow Card album? Can you do the Carlton dance from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? The Alfonso Ribeiro Carlton dance. If you can, is it easier than it looks? Because I have a hard time with it. Maybe it's just a lack of rhythm. I don't know. Guys, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you guys. This is what you come here for, right? So, thank you so much. Johnny Depp Praying Hands. Thank you so much for checking out the channel, for hanging out for a little while. I do appreciate you so much. New video coming soon. More. I don't know when I'm going to post when I'm going to post this video. I don't know when this will fit in with the Halloween festivities, but we'll be talking about some horror again very soon. So I do appreciate you so much. A good day to you, and I will catch you later.